Super viral video that is going in and around social media. And it was done by our CEO, none other than Robert Bobby Clarke. Bobby Clarke, also known as Robert Bobby Clarke, is the president and CEO of Irie Jam Radio, a significant outlet of Caribbean music in the United States. He received Jamaica's Order of Distinction in 2017 for over 20 years of dedicated media services to Jamaican nationals in the New York tri-state area. Clarke founded Irie Jam Radio in 1997, aiming to improve the quality of radio broadcasts for Jamaican and Caribbean nationals in the region. And I can go on and on and on because I'm privy to so much information. But I won't put him on the spot like that. I will say though, good morning, and good morning to you, Mr. Robert Bobby Clarke. Welcome to Let the Cocks Crow on Irie Jam Radio.
Good morning, Senator Jane.
Good morning. Great to have you. Good to see you.
Good morning, Bobby.
Oh, look at this. Look who it is. Devonish.
Now, before we jump into the interview, just to give persons context, if you did not see it, we're going to play the clip and then we're going to come back and chop it up.
The CEO of Irie Jam Radio and pioneer promoter Bobby Clarke is on Facebook this week to share an interesting perspective on the Vybz Kartel versus the Trinidad promoter saga.
Kartel should get more money. What he's getting now is great, but it's not enough.
Contrary to the comments of many, Clarke believes that Vybz Kartel is being underpaid.
If you're booking Janet Jackson,
Right.
and she's selling tickets in the same venue that you just put Kartel, and you're selling more tickets at a higher price for Kartel, because he's doing the numbers that superstars, national, global superstars are doing. I want to see Kartel where Madonna is. I want to see Kartel where Rolling Stones is.
Right.
And that would lift up the industry of reggae music, period.
Right.
I would ask him to fly to Trinidad and then ask for your balance there. Why? Because the people of Trinidad will know that you're there. They'll know that you're on the ground and you're there for them, and you're here to give them what they want. But please to ask the promoter guy to pay the balance so I can go do my work.
Right.
If you stay in Florida and say that, it's not the same.
Absolutely.
Everybody's going to want more money now. And here's the story. And I'll say it out loud.
Right.
Your numbers have to make sense. Because if you can't fill up the numbers and you can't get the people to come out to see you, then we as promoters can't book you because...
So, there you have it. Just interviewed Bobby Clarke. Very, very interesting interview. I can't wait to see some of your comments.
Very interesting indeed. And the comments and the reviews are mixed. There are some people that agree with you. There are some people that disagree with you. And we thought it was important that you expand on your thoughts. There are a lot of, naysayers and those that are, agreeing with you. So let's break down what the comment was, what it's about, and what prompted you to speak out now, especially in light of the Trinidad situation. Don't watch your clock. Yeah. I got you.
All right. So let me say, first of all, thank you for having me on this wonderful morning show. Let me start by saying I have a complaint. My complaint is that Mother's Day got 2.5 weeks promotion on Irie Jam.
Here we go.
And David, Madeline, help me here.
Oh my gosh.
Let me just finish what I'm saying.
But I'm the interviewer. I'm the interviewer.
And I'm saying the men
as the
have been
interviewer,
shortchanged.
and I am directing the conversation in one way. Okay, we're on topic. No, your mic is off. Your mic is off. Okay,
Clarks, please.
Your mic is off.
Clarks,
Mr. Clarke, I brought you into this studio to address
and we will get to that. I have two things
my
or three things to say before we get to that.
Oh
that I want all my fathers to know that Mrs. Clarke called a whole meeting with the entire staff for Mother's Day promotion, and they did gift bags and all these things and baskets.
That is not true.
No, it's the 10th. It's 4 days away from Father's Day, and what do fathers get?
Oh my gosh, it's the deflection for me.
Nothing.
I can't.
We got
no socks.
no socks. You know, a lady will give the belt. All right, I understand, but listen to me.
Don't give shame, okay? This is a safe space. Do not give shame.
Listen. Showbiz and the rest of the men in the radio land, listen, we have to defend us.
Oh my God.
The mothers need to stop it. They fight us down when it comes to Mother's Day and Father's Day. We get sidetracked. So I'm gonna say that.
Are you off the soapbox
No,
now? Can
I
we
said
get
that.
back to the interview?
Right. I also
It's true.
want to say that Irie Jam has great engineers. I want to big up Kyron.
Yes.
I want to
Drop
big up-
bombs.
Listen.
Drop
I want to
bombs.
big up
They show up and show out.
Christian, Edwin.
Yes.
The entire Jeremy.
Engineering department. Electra too, because she's a part of engineering as well.
No, she's a part of the
Overall programming, but she's
right.
she's kind of the backbone.
She's the
Yeah,
part of
the mother of.
Well, let's say she was the Mother's Day villain who was a part of the
Look here,
demise of Father's Day here at Irie Jam. But,
Can we get back to what we're doing?
Where's David Levy?
He's right there. I hear him. He's there.
I'm right here, man. I'm waiting to get. I'm waiting to get to the.
All right. So yes. All right. Now, what was your question?
Now you're off your soapbox. Yes. Can we continue with the interview?
I had to say it.
Okay, great. So here we are. Let's start with your recent statements on social media. You said Vybz Kartel should be paid more for his performance. What prompted you to speak out now, especially in the light of the Trinidad situation?
All right, two separate things. That was a promo that was where they mushed everything together. I'm urging everybody to watch the entire 16.5 minutes of the interview because two things. One, Kartel should be paid more by U.S. stadium promoters. That means the Live Nations of the world. And let me just explain to the public. The ticket sales in a venue that holds 17,541 for Barclays Center. There's similar numbers for Madison Square Garden, State Farm Arena, and the ones in Florida, and more. Now, the algorithms decide the prices, not us. So if you put tickets on sale, and immediately they're sold out in 4 minutes, prices are skyrocketing. What they do is, as I'll use the Kartel show in Brooklyn as an example, tickets were high as $1,700. Now, let's take the average of that scenario. That's $900 average ticket for Kartel. That means 15,300,000 was the ticket income potential for that show. And again, this is all rough numbers, nothing specific. I'm telling you based on what can happen for that one day. That's one show. He did two. Now, my issue is when people say he gets 1.3 or $1 million per show, who gets the other 16 million? Who gets the rest of the money? People who weren't there when he put out Clarks or Tech. I won't say the word, but yeah, right.
Take that something there.
Right. So my issue is that we as the Caribbean audience and the Caribbean nationals and the Caribbean people who put our sweat behind these artists and put our culture first and defend it with all our hearts, because Brooklyn Anthem is Brooklyn Anthem, and we're going to defend that. There should be more paid to our superstars. Why? Because again, as I said in the clip, Chris Brown will do a concert and you cannot offer him 1.2. He'll laugh. Are you crazy? And he's doing same numbers, and Kartel is probably doing more than him in certain venues. So I think it's disrespectful for somebody to say he should get less because he just came out of jail, because he's not known, because of what? The numbers should speak for the worth of the artist. The numbers will always speak. As a promoter, David Levy's as a promoter, we're going to always negotiate for the best possible price. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. But if us as an industry does not grow, if Kartel, Buju Banton, Beanie, and the 7 or 8 superstars that we have, remember, the industry of R&B and rap has 500 easily superstars that can do the same thing, from Mariah Carey to Diana Ross to hip hop. There's so much people that can do that, so that their industry has grown, and it's made them billions, trillions, because of they can eat from what they do. My thing is, if we start fighting Kartel to get 1 point something, then how are we going to grow the industry? How are we going to now tell Kartel to let's build our own venues, let's build our own law firms that represent us, let's build a coalition of Caribbean promoters that can do bigger things, let's make our own record labels, because we need to generate that money, that income. So how dare somebody tell me that my superstar, whoever he is, Kartel, Buju, Bounty, whoever it is, can't get the same exact or close to what the other superstars in other genres make in K-pop. You know, it's not something that we should take lightly. So the more he makes is the more we expect him to invest in our industries. And it can be real estate. I'm not saying that the industry of promotion is the only thing. Our nurses are the best nurses in the history of...
Hands down.
And we need to get hospitals in our communities that we own. I mean, it's an industry. There's things that we need to do for us. Caribbean people work hard. They come here, they're slave night and day, and then they die. Then what? What have we accomplished? What do we want as Caribbean people? Just to come here, work, and then die? No, I'm not for that. I'm not for that at all. And I don't want anybody to fight down another Caribbean person because he wants more money. No, because if Jennifer Lopez wants it and Shakira wants it, then why shouldn't he? It should just be automatic. And so if the injustice is happening from the monsters that control the artists, control the media, control the venues, control the ticket sales, then the enemy is not the artist. The enemy should be, the target should be those who are trying to exploit. So we need to develop ourselves, our industries that benefit us and our generations that are coming behind us. I could be a selfish promoter and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, the price too high. Let's get Kartel to do it for half price for us. But then how does that help the industry? How does that help our people coming behind us? It doesn't help. The idea is we need to say to Kartel, listen, there's a coalition of long-time promoters who have been promoting you. In the industry, we need a better rate for us as a unit. And then you come together and do things together. That is what there's tons of solutions to getting what we need. But we cannot be disrespected or have our artists be disrespected, our industry disrespected by people who just see it as a payday. And again, $15 million a night is a payday. It's a retirement. It's done. It's you can retire on that. So if we're generating that income from our hard-earned pockets, from the people in Brooklyn who work at the McDonald's, who they see their artists, then damn it, pay more. All right. You know, so if you don't like what I'm saying, I'd love you to challenge me on that, because I believe with all my heart that this industry is what has fed us for 32 years here at Irie Jam. And everything that we do is based on the Caribbean community and uplifting it. So if I believe passionately that this is only ways for us to grow, because then look at Sparrow and look at the Byron Lee and look at, they came, contributed and died, and I don't think they were compensated.
Right.
So Marshall Montana is a giant. Where is his flaws? Where's his money? And I don't believe that we should stand by and say, oh yeah, you know what, we need to be like. No, we are who we are and we deserve our flaws now and give us our money now. Because we have buildings to buy. We have things to build for our children and everybody involved.
In your opinion, is this a one-off issue or part of a bigger problem in the industry where Caribbean artists, especially from Jamaica, are undervalued? And how do we, as the media house here, right? We've been in this industry for 30 plus years, and we're not just radio. We do events, we do marketing, we do advertising, all the things. How do we change this narrative? How do we get people to adapt to exactly what you're proposing?
So it's a mindset, right? The mindset is that these crabs in this barrel need to be better than you. So you'll have another media house or another artist whose only goal is to be better than that person. There's never a thought to, what if we came together and I stood on your back and you stood on my back and we get out of this barrel? How about buying the barrel?
Yeah, you know, that's funny that you said that, and might I drop a bomb. I saw Jay-Z speak on this very thought process, that the mindset that they told us about crabs in a barrel was the backbiting part, right? But they didn't tell us, and it is a mindset thing. They didn't tell us that what the crabs were actually doing is helping each other up and out of the barrel. And that shift, instead of the backbiting that we've been looking at and using that term crabs in a barrel, we say no. It's, even if we are in that barrel, what we should be doing is climbing on top of one another to help each other out of the barrel, and then buy the barrel or kick it over.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
And that's a big part of what needs to happen. But also, I think every Caribbean person need to invest into whatever they're passionate in. Don't put your money in AT&T. Put your money in that car wash that your friend is trying to build. Put your money in that real estate investment that you're trying to build. Put your money and said, hey, let's buy half of White Plains Road. Let's buy more because in these markets that we own, that we live in. Because that's what the other people do. They come into our neighborhoods and they say, you know what, I'm going to re-gentrify this area because I want to do this for my people. We need that mindset. That mindset is simple. I have $40, you have $40, and the house costs $100. Let's go get somebody else and buy 15 houses. Let's buy 22 houses. Let's build this thing. Let's put money behind Kartel. If Kartel has a tour and we can invest in it, then
why don't we come together?
And again, I said it in the interview. Mona Scott, I love Mona Scott and what she's done for Black entertainment. And Mateo is a huge promoter who's been doing this for years with Sean Paul and everybody else. They invested in Kartel shows. They did Miami, and they're doing Jersey this weekend. My issue is, why didn't we? How come we, myself, David, Roadblock, say, okay, let us put this money together and invest in these shows, and then invest in more shows. I mean, let us do all the shows, because we're the ones who spent the 32 years and the 40 years, David 60 years, because David was older, into what we know and love. We know this business. Nobody can tell me about promotion and radio in New York City, because I'm a rock in that, and I can stand on that with all my life. Right. So if we know what we love and we know our industries, invest in them, because you want to say, well, look at that. How come that guy from another culture did that? Oh,
came into our culture.
That's nice. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Which is what we're seeing right now.
Right. So now that our music is on the cusp, our entertainers are on the cusp, we have momentum. We see where we can do things. Let's fight for it. We built it. Because again, the people who are benefiting now does not know what the flying fish is. They don't know what cuckoo is. They don't know what a guinea is or a star apple. My thing is, if we built the culture, we are the culture. We live the culture. We will die for this culture. And then we should watch somebody else reap it, because we're saying, yeah, you know what? I don't want to work with that guy, because that guy that's stupid. And it as a people and as a culture, we're going to lose.
We're not going to lose. We're losing.
We're losing. So my viral moment that happened last week was me just passionately saying what I believe with all my heart.
Truth, yeah.
And I don't care who don't like it. I will die on that. And die in the principles of what we need to do to uplift our communities and who we elect and why we elect them and who we put in power is very important. Because the people around us who are reaping what they've sown, they're not the problem. And Live Nation, they're supposed to do what they do. That's what their business model is.
That's their business model.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But we need to say, okay, well, how can we as a people make this happen? Invest in who you are.
So Live Nation is coming from it from a business standpoint, right? And while we're coming from it from a business standpoint, we're also coming from it from a more emotional, thank you, Matt, emotional, more personal standpoint, because we know these guys. We know from whence they come because we're living in the communities and we know, So I think where we need to do better is get better at business, right? You look at what Lexus said the other day, right? The majority of the 90s artists that were that era that was the best era, hands down. I'm saying, my opinion, they did not understand the business of music. What the royalties were, publishing, making sure that they even had a contract. They were doing it off of the emotion and off of the love and off of the Mwan bus becoming so that you know. And so when we look at the Live Nations of the world who understand business, right? Who understand the ticket sales and the new algorithms and they even have to learn too, but they were ahead of the curve while we still licking our wounds from the concert that lost the other day or all these things. Besides mindset, what practical things can we do as promoters, as trendsetters, trailblazers in this space to move the conversation forward? We have Bounty coming in July. What is it that we're going to do to make sure that show is packed out? Marketing, we know that it's a Live Nation situation, and big up to the young lady, CJ Million, who is doing the damn thing, yes, and doing it for the culture. But she's aligned with a Live Nation, and they're doing that together. But what is it that we can do as grassroots? Because we're also seen as grassroots.
Of course. So we're doing it now. We have in the studio Deja. Deja is an intern. Deja is a millennial. And Deja has the know-how and the wherewithal to gather information for the millennials to change this direction. Kyron, young. We need to educate the people who are young amongst us to say, here's what we need to do. Here's how we want it done. Go and do it. Because we already set what needs to set. We've given the road. We've given you the direction. We've made the path. But now we need to let our soldiers, our people in the industry, people who understand what Irie Jam has done for them and changed their lives. It's not us to do it. It's the people who are there listening now to say, you know what? Let me invest in this situation. Let me change what this direction is, because we are the fiber of New York City. We are the fiber of America. So we can find ways technologically, financially, structurally to say, all right, this is how hip hop is doing it now. Blockchain and there's tons of ways that are out there. And it's a thought process. How are we going to get this done? Bounty will sell because Bounty is gangster from long time. and it's selling out Bounty is not the issue. It's selling out who's next. Right. We only have 7 or 8. We need 450 more. Who's going to now sell out next year and the year after? And then how we're going to get our structure together. I can give you 500 things that I'm sure will work, but it's not me. We need another 2, 4, 10 million people that are listening, and they know because they are from Caribbean heritage, that they understand what needs to be done. I can only lead by this microphone and say, here's what needs to be done, how to do it. But if we don't get the support, we're going to say, oh, well, you see what? Them never do it. how come them guys, and how come I hate when people say uno for do it,
or them say or them whatever.
Who are those people?
Exactly. A lot of that is made up stories in their head. What about, do you think the artist, there's an onus on the artist as well to work together with us as media houses, as promoters?
First of all, I think the artist's onus is to make money for themselves first, and I'm not going to take that back from, because you're in jail for 13 years and you haven't experienced life in a certain way. So you need to be selfish, make your money, get all you can get, and then look at yourself and say, okay, what's next? Because after you make the $200 million, what is next? And what's next should be, and this is what I want. What can I do for my community? How can I lift my industry? How can I change the lives of the people who are here in these Americas or Australia or wherever they are? And when that happens, then we can give them direction. But I can't tell Bounty not to make his money, no, because he hasn't made any money for a long time. But then feed his kids.
From America.
Right, but I also want to say that when Bounty makes money, we all make money. Because just going to that concert, the economy of it says you have to ride on a train. You have to ride on a park. You have to buy concessions. You have to, that alone tremendously affects New York City.
Not to mention the dub plates that he's going to cut when he's here.
Right. So I'm just saying that these things are easy. The economy of scale already is in effect. If we put 20,000 people in Royal Wilkins Park, the vendors make money, the community makes money, the park, everybody makes money, and that will send children to school, that will pay for school fees, that will find its way back into the community. And I keep saying this, and it's important, you have to spend in your community. We like to buy the Gucci and all the things that we see the Europeans
mass marketing
are
and stuff,
throwing in our face, but buy your oxtail from Genesis One restaurant, because that money is going to feed somebody in our community. So do not think that it's okay to just spend your money randomly. Think about it before you spend it, because they do.
Especially when you're looking at the DEI rollbacks that are happening in these corporate big box things, right? When you spend your money at, let's say, a Kingston Fashion, a Black Hyenas, a Mango Bay, a Stush Boutique, or wherever these Caribbean-owned businesses are, the barbershops, the gas stations, the car wash, the mechanics shops. Because remember, we as Caribbean people, we're in everything, right? But for when we spend the money in these businesses, hopefully the goal is for it to circulate within these businesses. And I think it's simple math, but math that we do not yet understand.
Community focus. I think if we as a people don't get community focus, we're going to miss the boat. Our artists are just as influential as our leaders, or even more. So if Kartel or Bounty or Beanie or whoever has a visa now says, I believe that we should spend over here because, and here's what's going to happen. If they get socially minded for 5 minutes, they can affect change forever. And that's why I said what I said in this piece. If we don't give them that microphone and give them that platform and elevate them to say the right things, I'm so happy that Kartel has found God and is preaching positivity, because that will bring more positivity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
for sure.
and if he doesn't do the gun lyrics and he says things positively, that means children will understand that. I even ask, what is that? And then we can push them in that direction. So for me, I'm a fan right now.
No,
and
absolutely.
Kartel is somebody who's been here asking for us, please play a song. So I'm not saying it because it is just something to say.
Or it's the popular moment right now.
This is what we live by. So I will defend it to the end when somebody is saying Kartel this and Kartel that. He is now giving us a positive direction, which hasn't happened in a long time for any artist. And again, this is what we need to push. Now that we have something to push, let's do that.
Yeah.
So don't disrespect him. Don't respect anybody. I mean, Bounty Killer is somebody that I respect to the heights, because as a youth, Bounty Killer looked at me and said, you have to defend what you believe in. And that goes for every Caribbean person. Yes, we have bad sides, and we know we can be wild. But if we believe in something, and we'll defend our families, we'll defend our females, we'll defend our industry, we'll defend people trying to do us wrong, because that's who we are. So Bounty epitomizes that for every Jamaican, Caribbean man and one woman, because you know what? We don't give a rat's ass about what you're saying. We know we're going to defend ours to the end, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But that's who we are, and that's what we believe in. So for me, doing this for a living is good. We can make more money out of everybody time by selling real estate and doing something else.
It's true.
But this is what we're doing for our community. This is what we're going to die on. I don't really care about anybody who comes against me, because there's a whole lot of haters who's saying, Bobby, shut up. Bobby, shut your mouth. Well, shut me up, because you can't. And I will never stop, will never ever stop. So if somebody has something to say, bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it hard though.
Yeah. Because we defend it, and I think that's the message, the messaging really, right? We defend what we are pushing, which is our Caribbean culture, our Caribbeanness first, the culture, the music, the history, the sports, all the things, and the good and the bad. Because we understand that there is good and there's bad sides to us. However, it's standing on something. Standing on principle, standing on business, and the mindset shift, I think, is a mindset shift from when you started this in 1993 versus where you are right now, 2025.
Correct.
Right? There are things that you would have started out, maybe bad habits, right? And now 100%. Today you now realize, look here, I had to turn the corner.
Right.
In order to take this thing another 30 years.
Right. My job today was not to talk about this show.
Yeah, no, I can't. But yeah, no.
And you know what? I want to say.
I want to say, boss man. A commercial break though.
No, it's not even the break. I really want to say that sometimes it's very important. People keep listening. Pork have to eat.
Thank you, Bobby Clarke.
No, Bobby, I was with you the whole interview.
The bacon, the ham, the Thanksgiving ham is like, come on, stop.
We love it.
So, bro,
I'm not.
The Clarks love it, okay?
No,
Clarks love pork.
Wait.
I'm from a Rasta family, but
yes, he is. But Clarks is from pork. But big and serious, Bob. I thank you for your perspective. I thank you for speaking out and for defending reggae music, for defending the culture, for defending who we are as a people, because we are marginalized, we are placed in a box, and we come to these here United States.
I thank you, but I also feel a way that David did not chime in.
No, I saw David stay when they're ready.
It's 10 minutes too, and David didn't say a word.
I'm listening attentively, and I'm going to chime in, but I want you to finish. I want to say what he was going to say. I went into the last part to come, and I'm going to chime in.
All right, he said what he got to say, David. You go.
Okay, so Bobby Clarke, I hear you. I hear you good. Are you okay, big man? What's going on? You good?
I'm good.
Okay. So this is I listen to you attentively, right? Mm-hmm. And I hear you. I agree with you on some things, and some things I don't agree with you on. Mm-hmm. This is a very touchy situation, right? This is a very.
Your words carefully.
This is not. No, I don't care about my words being carefully, right? I care, but I don't. This is a very important thing. Very important thing. And Bobby Clarke knows that when it comes to Caribbean music and culture, I have pushed that and defended it all my life. Mm-hmm. Even when they told me that, David, you could not play soca, I went and pushed and got a soca DJ to play soca on Kiss FM. Mm-hmm. Right? So all the things that we have done, but I think I have no problem with Vybz Kartel making $5 million. F. Kartel can make 10 million, he should be able to make 10. F. Buju can make 17 million in one show. They're individuals to do what the hell they want. If they want to do, the problem is, or the situation is, that F. Kartel or Buju or Beanie or Bounty did a concert and they get in $1 million per show, and they take care of their circle that surrounds them, right? Everybody got a circle, and then you got to send stuff home to your neighborhood that you come from. They take care of all that's usually done, and they're left with, after they made $1 million and they took care of everybody, they're left with about 700,000, let's say 600,000. Then it's up to them to say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to start a little fund. I'm going to put this $20,000 or this 30 or this 100,000 or maybe this 5,000 or maybe this $500 in this little fund, and I'm going to make sure and get together with some people, and we're going to put the money up, and we're going to do what we're going to do. We're going to keep this money on the side. I came to you just a few months ago, and we talked about doing a concert, and you said, David, we got to have the right amount of money to do this thing. We're not in the right position to do it yet. Remember, we talked about this, right? Good. So I believe that these artists, and I'm talking Jamaican, Trinidadian, Barbadian, St. Lucian, Antiguan. So while one guy's dealing with millions, another guy's dealing with hundreds. When one guy's dealing with hundreds, another guy's dealing with thousands. Now, this is in the dancehall reggae world where this is happening. Now, I think that there are a bunch of Caribbean restaurants, there are a bunch of businesses that we have. We have all the real estate stuff that is advertised on Irie Jam. We have the housing stuff, all these different businesses that are advertised. I believe that we should have some kind of networking. You know what they call the susu, where you put money, where people come and put their money and they get it back everywhere, right? I'm not saying to take the money out, but we should have some kind of little thing that is not a lot. Maybe it's $100. And if you love the Caribbean and you love the Caribbean culture and you want to talk about the Caribbean, you believe in it, don't worry that Bobby Clarke might be the manager of it tomorrow, because in a lot of scenarios we've lost a lot of things in the Caribbean world, in the Jamaican world, because this one was supposed to be the manager, or this one wants to make sure that he's the this, or this one wants to make sure that before the thing can even get off the goddamn ground.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So before it can get off the ground, everybody, if we're going to talk about this, let's talk about it, because I'm listening attentively, and I've been here with this down the road, right? I had to fight as hell to get, and you know what? I'm going to say this. It is not what I have done for Caribbean music, but it's what Caribbean music have done for me. I've been able to go travel all over the world, meet Nelson Mandela, meet Winnie Mandela. I've seen it. If I've never played another Caribbean song, do another Caribbean show, been to another Caribbean concert, I'm good.
I get you.
But the Caribbean has been good for me, right? It's good for me. It's helped me. It's helped me widen my thoughts. I love it. And it's worked in my favor 199.9%.
Right.
I believe that we should have some kind of little susu. Maybe that's not the appropriate name for it at this point in time, but that we can invest in, that the average person, and then we should have a fund, and that fund should be and that fund should be controlled, and that when we want to do Vybz Kartel ourselves, we would be able to have the $100,000 or the $200,000 or the 3 or the 4 or the 4 or the 5 to put down to do Vybz Kartel. I remember Rihanna, when Rihanna was big. Let me give you a situation. I wanted to do Rihanna. I went to Rihanna, I went to Barbados, I saw Rihanna and her mother and her crew. I knew them before they were popular like this. I said, listen, I'm interested in doing a concert, but I want to do a Caribbean concert. I want to bring Rihanna into Madison Square Garden with all Caribbean artists. No hip hop, no R&B, no Jay-Z, just surrounded with Caribbean artists. She has a record with Rupee. She had other records on her first album. I said, that's what I want to do. She says, no problem, David. They came back and said, should I say, I'm a talk this thing. So she came back and said, look, I want 1.2 million. 1.2. Rihanna is huge. That was an inside price for me, right? 1.2. She could have gotten 3-4 million easy. So I had spoken to the auntie and said, this is what I want. And they said, we'll get back to you, David. They get back to me and they said they can't do it. The manager called me himself and said, David, I cannot allow you to do this show. I said, why not? He said, because you only want to do New York. New York is one of the biggest markets. When I sell this to a big promoter and he gets to North Carolina and South Carolina and Detroit, it is not as big as New York. I will give you the whole tour, but you just can't get the biggest market in the whole thing. And then I got other promoters now who don't have New York, who have to deal with smaller markets and they might lose money. This is what they can bank on to make back the money that they might have lost on smaller markets. Agreed, Bobby Clarke?
Agreed, but there's tons of ways to fix that issue. Tons of ways, and David, I don't even want. It's only 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left. I don't want us to focus on what we can't do. To focus on what we can, and there's tons. I mean, I can tell you stories, but there's stuff that we can do easy.
Okay, so and I agree with you. So I'm saying, this is what I'm saying now, that we can, if we had a little susu. A little.
We have more than that.
And an endowment fund of some sort.
No, so we have. I can tell you now, we have investors who are willing to put up whatever we need. And,
okay, good.
Right, but we have to find a way to get us to come together, and that group of Caribbean promoters.
You remember the picture that we took, right?
Yes. Well. Okay. Well, again, some things are
picture,
dreams. Dreams.
That picture that we took, I think created a momentum. When we said, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're doing. Look at me. I'm here putting my money where my mouth is.
100%. And we have it. That's not a problem. I want to say this before we get off here, that we are strength in numbers. I don't want it to be 4 people. I want it to be 750,000 people. So in Harlem last week, there is a coalition of business owners that said for 3 hours, we're going to not sell anything in honor of Malcolm X. And there was one business owner who decided that he's not doing that. And the boycott started, the marches started, and Chick-fil-A had to close down for way more than 3 hours because we brought the noise in front of Chick-fil-A in Harlem. That is the energy that our community needs to have.
Yeah.
We need to seriously defend who we are and what we stand for. So it has to be not just David and Bobby and a couple of others. Everybody in this neighborhood who believes in Caribbean growth, Caribbean strength, and moving forward have to have some skin in the game. So if you have Flatbush Avenue with 700,000 businesses, and we say, Chick-fil-A, you can't open because we're gonna celebrate Caribbean history, and you do, locking you down. We have that power. We
that
own
kind
it.
of energy is definitely needed.
So with 1 minute to go, I'm going to say, we
got to continue this conversation. I think that
100%.
we need to have a forum. I think we need to have a forum and sit down and let the people know, because everybody may not understand the intricacies of this music thing. It's more than meets the eye. And now you've got other smaller Caribbean islands too that might not have the people but have hits now. And Carnival is becoming the #1 entertainment thing in Jamaica now is Carnival. It makes more money than any other thing. Who would have believed that when Byron Lee was trying to get it off the ground?
Right.
And I'm excited because I feel that wave coming. I feel the change coming, and I see it clear. But there's always going to be a set of guys who are going to fight it, and I'm ready for the fight. But sometimes you're saying, well, why would you want to fight something so positive? Why?
Because they don't know anything better.
That's who the nature of who they are.
Who we are. But again, that comes with that mindset, right? So Bob Marley said, "Emancipate from mental slavery." We continue to be in mental slavery, and until but these conversations to me give me hope that we are moving in the right direction, right? And so we need to continue these conversations. Bobby Clarke, kudos to you. Thank you for what you do. I appreciate you, and I love you down like stew peas with pigtail in there. David Levy, indeed, I thank you for what you continue to do, sir. Continue to rave that Caribbean flag, the Caribbean pride. It is what we need here to move these conversations forward. We are going to have a part 2 of this. I think we should have a forum. I think, David, you're spot on. We should have a community forum where we come together and begin to plant these seeds to see how we can really bring this thing to life.
Put some money and put some
where
money in the till. When we come together, we put some money
in the till.
Come with $20, $100, and put it in there and let it grow. So when we look in the bank, oh, we got 20 grand. Oh wow, we can do a fashion show.
It's true.
You know,
It's true. We have to wrap it up this morning. Thank you for joining us on Let the Cocks Crow. Jennifer Ramprasad is up next, people. These conversations are important, and they're important to be had. We thank you for listening. We thank you for supporting. Continue to support Irie Jam. Continue to support Caribbean music. We will see you later. Until then, wishing you love, peace, and lights. We out.